you believe in the existence of extraterrestrials?
Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Fessler, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Monday. Oh, gosh, yes, it has been Monday all day long. Monday, July 14th, as we edge towards the end of the year. Hopefully, we'll see some UFO hearings coming soon, or maybe later. You never know where it's going to go. So before I get too far ahead of myself, we got a lot of great things to talk about here today, my friends. Yes, there's been even a UFO report that's come out of Canada, and, well, Ross keeps on trying to backpedal, but he continues to, unfortunately, lose credibility in the community, even from his own homestead of Need to Know. How about that? On that note, let me go ahead and bring up a list, and let's find out who are all the participants in our chat right now. Let's see who we have out there. We have Amiga Rules. Anton Ghost is here, along with Carl Joe Garrison. We got Creativity from the Future. David Anderson is here, along with Evan B., Firefly, Fry Guy, Geraldine Durazio, Gunham Disclosure, Idaho Strong, J-Cat, J-Paul, and Kelly Burrow with those piercing blue eyes. Where'd you go, Kelly? Oh, maybe there you are. Who else we have out there? We've got Maritime Run Prepared, Megan Betts, Necessary Dialogue, Niles Guys here, along with PC Anderson. From the great state of Florida, we have Peggy and her South Florida friends. Rainstorm Hunter is here, along with RHEC. We got Roni Deal, Rodney Cox, Sam, Shelley Montgomery. Good to see you, Shelley. Steve Hines here, along with the Chromosome Cowboy, Vern Dude, and of course, coming from the UK, we have Yellow Tommy Tanker, also known as Andy. How about that? Let's jump into the studio and say, Mike, how are you doing? Well, apparently I need to fix OBS, so give me a second, folks. I won't stop the show, but I have to start and restart OBS because it doesn't see the other screen I have here as usual. So this will take about 5 seconds. Hold on. Stop the virtual camera for our friends in the back. Be right back, folks. Hold on. And we're back. See, it didn't take long for me to go and fix that, did it, Mike?
Nope. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. So let's just jump in right to this top of the story of what we've got going on here today. Let's get to it. Mike, here we go. We got a beautiful picture of Anna Polina Luna here coming to us in news that broke this morning. While everyone was still talking about the upcoming hearings and recent mistranslations that happened from Eric Burleson. Did you hear about those, Mike? It was some translations of his getting translated to Spanish, and then the Spanish translated back to English, and all of a sudden Eric Burleson, which some other UFO news podcasts out there covered, they covered the wrong story.
They did, and it was also, the translation was from Cosmic Road, Jack Connor.
Well, okay.
Spanish to English.
Yeah. But the initial English to Spanish is where it kind of got twisted up a bit. No, actually the translation back, there was a voiceover that was provided, but it was not Eric Burleson's voice, so that was the difference.
Yeah, that was should have been a dead giveaway.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you see stuff like that. You just have to be careful because especially when it's coming from something that deals with our dear friend, well, not really, from someone in the community, well, no, not really, but he's more of ufology than anything, Mr. Jaime Musan. You mention those names and the reality of the truth goes out the window, unfortunately.
Pretty goddamn quickly, but we also have an American version of him. It's called Dr. Stephen Greer.
True.
So, not just Mexico, yeah.
But behind all of Jaime's things that he's been bringing out for the last couple of years, Greer has been grifting right along with him.
Oh, he has. And that's something that was talked about on the recent Need to Know.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. We're going to get to that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, on June 26th, if you remember, real Anna Polina Luna told Askapols her federal secrets task force would hold a public hearing on unidentified anomalous phenomena in July. Right. And that would be after the 4th of July break and before the summer recess. However, as we've been checking the Oversight Committee's hearing calendar several times a day, nothing ever showed up. And as of this morning, an Oversight Committee aide told Dee Dee Johnson today that it will be in September. How about that?
Yep. And, well, they think that the reason for them pushing this off until September has to do with the fact that if they were to schedule a July date, they don't have any witnesses to come forward and testify.
Right.
They're
now,
looking specifically for, first
whistleblowers. And it sounded like, if I'm trying to find it right now, but I'll just kind of go off what I remember hearing, was that Eric Burleson was heard saying that they need to find whistleblowers that can come forward for the upcoming hearing that are involved in the crash retrieval and or reverse engineering parts on it. So it sounds like they haven't found people that are willing to come forward.
Right. They don't have all their ducks in a row. They don't have these witnesses ready to come out publicly and testify. And they're going to have a long wait, I think, before they can get these people together and schedule this next hearing, which right now is in limbo. So they're trying to bite off more than I think they can chew at the moment, Thomas.
So right now we're hearing September. However,
right.
September is a whisper right now. There's nothing scheduled. There's nothing penciled in. There's no estimated date except a month and a half out to 2 months out as a minimum.
Right. And what it seems that the task force, Luna, and Congress is overlooking is that if they want people with knowledge like that to come forward, there isn't sufficient whistleblower protections in place yet that would entice any of these people to do that. So I think it's more of a pipe dream on their part right now.
Right, absolutely.
They're expecting a miracle.
Right. Now, I do have a news piece here on the situation coming from the Disclosure Party. Let me go ahead and bring this one up so we can go ahead and show it to let you guys know there's actually stuff going on here we're covering on this. So according to Rep. Eric Burleson, the upcoming congressional hearings on UFOs could mark a watershed moment, larger, in government transparency. For the first time, individuals who directly participated in classified UFO crash retrieval and reverse engineering programs are expected to testify under oath. These are not secondhand witnesses or sharing stories that someone told them. These are individuals who reportedly operated recovered vehicles, handled non-human craft, and came in contact with biological specimens of other intelligent forms of life. Now, if multiple such individuals come forward with consistent, detailed testimony backed by clearance level experience and technical knowledge, it would be nearly impossible to dismiss the claims as fabrication or misinterpretation. Now, media outlets, which previously hesitated to fully investigate the topic, would be compelled to take the hearing seriously. Maybe.
Even in the absence of physical evidence.
Yeah, coordinated firsthand accounts. I had a pause on that one because it's just like, right. Followed by, they read our mind was coming next. Even the absence of physical evidence, bullshit. Coordinated firsthand accounts from insiders would shatter long-standing feedback that there is no evidence. Well, testimony, I guess you could call it evidence, but testimony is testimony. It's not like physical evidence.
No, not to something like this. No.
The logic used to deny the existence of these programs would collapse under the weight of sworn credible testimony. But we've had sworn testimony in the past. Is he saying what we had in the past wasn't credible? The legacy program participants are the evidence, and once they step forward, the official silence cannot be withheld. Before I get to this quote coming from Eric Burleson, Ash, Lee, you have your hand up?
I just am wondering how they're going to get more whistleblowers to come forward because, like you said, we have had sworn testimony in the past, but have they even improved the whistleblower protections at all? Have they changed anything? Because honestly, if I was in the position to be called up, I don't know if I would want to, depending on like how deep I was into the specific legacy type programs and with defense.
No, we do. Go ahead, Mike.
They haven't. No, Ashley, they have not put any additional whistleblower protections in place in legislation. Thomas, you and I, we covered a while ago that, wasn't it Burchett who put 1 page of legislation that he wanted to put through and they bounced it? So he wanted to increase whistleblower protections, but they shot that right down.
Yeah.
So no, there hasn't been anything that has come forward since then. It's whatever is on the books now, Ashley.
Why do you think that would be? Why do you think that they would turn down those protections?
I could fall into the category of Washington backdoor bullshit, where Burchett didn't have anything of value for them to take it seriously. And they themselves are dealing with their own agendas, usually in Congress. And then let's not mention the fact that it's like completely dysfunctional. One hand doesn't know what the other one is doing in Congress. That's been said publicly. We've said it publicly for a long time now. They're not on the same page. They're not coordinated. They are not taking this subject seriously. So that's why nothing gets done and nothing moves forward. That's part of the problem, actually.
Mike, I think you've left out 2 important words.
What's that?
Oh God, what is it called again? Go ahead for a second. My mind just completely blanked.
Yeah, what I was saying is that they have nothing that would entice them. Look, I shared a story with Thomas the other day, and it has to do with Chris Cuomo, who's a reporter on News Nation. He was at an event in D.C., and a lot of the top Democrats were at this charity event, including Chuck Schumer. And what Chris Cuomo said on his podcast was that it looked to him like this man is already retired. He's not focused. He's not interested in anything. He's not moving forward. He knows that if he gets primaried by AOC, he's probably going to be out of a job. So he is just there in body only, not in mind. Yeah. And that's true for a lot of the key people in Congress. They're done.
Yeah.
It's not what it was 2 years ago when Russia testified and there was a real bipartisan effort on both sides of the aisle in Congress on the UAP topic. That was now becoming a thing of history. Yeah. We don't have that currently.
Yeah. And the other reason, Mike, that they could potentially not want to be able to give whistleblowers additional protections is that old 2 words that I couldn't remember before for some reason. No Adderall today. National security. That potentially they could be bringing things forward under whistleblower protections that are compromising our national security. You know how that was looked at in Washington?
Well, that was the argument that they made last year, well, the end of last year, for the November 13th UAP hearing that Nancy Mace did. They appealed to a lot of the congressmen, including her, on national security issues, that if they brought anything out publicly, it would tip off the foreign adversaries that we have to deal with on this information. And they used that and some blackmail that got her to sweep having Matthew Brown come out publicly and testify. So, yeah, that's one of the tricks that they use to control Congress. And it works. Congress goes along with it. That's why nothing is moving forward. We get nothing. That's why the Epstein files just went up in smoke. Yeah. This is how corrupt everything is and why everything is not coming out as it was promised to come out.
Yeah. So the delay, as is said here by Eric Burleson, is probably because they don't have the whistleblowers they need at this point. Until now, the only people who've come forward didn't have firsthand contact. But in the upcoming hearing, we will focus on people who have actually drove crash retrieve vehicles. Drove? Okay. Handled bodies and had direct contact. Not the scientists, but either way, it's a long stretch out. Hopefully they can find some people beyond those who have been involved in crash retrievals that are tied to Stephen Greer.
Oh, that would be the next problem, because didn't we have a picture we put up recently of Representative Eric Burleson standing right next to Stephen Greer?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's not a
standing
good sign.
next to him, sitting next to him, yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully it's not two peas in a pod, I tell you, because it does not look good for disclosure.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. And that would explain also why things are so dead right now.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Well, while things have been dead, and let me get back to here for a second while I set up this next story. While things have been dead, as we all know, things have not been quite so dead over at with Ross Coulthart.
That's true.
Yeah. Let me get
Ross
to the.
is filling in the blanks of information that he wants to get everybody's attention with. The problem is his unnamed multiple sources are not sources that you would bring that information. Well, categorically.
Right.
Anybody who is knowledgeable would not bring that information forward. And a lot of people were surprised that he did. So it was what was covered in the Need to Know episode with Bryce Zabel last night.
Well, I know, yeah, exactly. Well, he was covered. Everyone out there is talking about it. It's not just Bryce economizing it, which I have to say, question mark, in quotes. Is this a psyop? Is this something that's going on potentially that was intended to go on to try and bring a halo around Bryce Zabel to kind of bring forward his podcast and launch a new one? Because, the one he's launched, Bryce Zabel has been trying a couple different things. He's got a UFO book club that he's been bringing out with Chrissy Newton from the Debrief. And that one's kind of really low views. But the latest one he brought out, which is Need to Know Skiff, he had a couple guests on there with him last night, and it was out. The only thing going on, a bunch of people going and watching it, but it launched it right into the stratosphere. So is this just a play on words in the hope to launch something else for Bryce, since now, all right, Mr. X, you've just got me to turn off the emotes. There we go. Thank you.
So it seems that Bryce was going after Ross and questioning his sources and his credibility based on the information. So I don't know if it was something that was set up to do that, because, they do know each other. And for the fact that Bryce would be making points like that, which, like you said, everybody else has been making, including us.
Yeah.
About the statements that have come from Ross.
Well, let's watch the statement here that Ross initially made. Then let's watch the statement that he made last night. And then I've got a good write-up to go over the language and vernacular that Ross is using here, so we can kind of figure out where he's coming from. Let's play this 42-second clip, followed by a minute 30 clip. Here we go.
I now know categorically that the Tic Tac is Lockheed Martin technology.
Okay.
The Tic Tac is Lockheed Martin technology. Why are we being lied to? This is the issue. Why is the United States government now participating at White House executive level in collusion with the national security state to keep secret the fact that they've made these advances? I suspect it's because they've realized that they're being overtaken by their foreign adversaries, and they don't want you to know that.
Well, yes, they don't want you to know that, but he's blaming the government for going this. I blame his sources. Now, let's go ahead and go to the next one up this. Go up one post here, and now we've got a post of Ross Coulthart, minute 54 from Reality Check last night. Actually, let me maybe a little bit more. Let me go ahead and get this one set up here. Oh gosh, how am I going to do this? Let's go ahead and do fair use because it is some News Nation. Let's play this clip and see where it goes. Here we go, folks.
The things I want to clarify here as well is there are NHI Tic Tacs. A lot of people seem to be thinking that I'm suggesting that all Tic Tacs are Lockheed Martin. That's not the case at all. What I was told, and I'm reasonably sure that this is the case, is that the Tic Tac was being operated by Lockheed Martin. And it's conceivable.
Oh my God. Here we go. Bring out Jake. Let's roll out Jake Barber. Come on.
That was being operated neuromeditatively, psionically, by a human psionic, which is what I understand is the way that these retrieved non-human craft are being operated. It's not clear to me, though, whether this is a craft that was built by Lockheed Martin or whether it is Lockheed Martin testing the use of neuromeditative signaling, as our friends at Skywatcher call it, to operate one of these craft. I just can't answer that question specifically. All I can do is tell you what I've been told by my multiple sources, which is that the operation of the Tic Tac was being controlled on the day by Lockheed Martin. Now, I want to say here that...
So, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, before the Tic Tac incident happened, right?
Right.
There were, the incident with the Tic Tacs had been going on for about a week, right? And in that time, coming from Kevin Day, over 100 of them in sorties of anywhere from 4 to 8 were coming down from about 80,000 feet up down to 50 feet right above sea level in a fraction of a second and heading off towards Isla Guadalupe and going under the ocean. How it was just those Tic Tacs on that day that were controlled by psionic people at Lockheed Martin? Oh, this just gets worse.
That is the claim. Yeah, Daryl suggests playing the clip that we usually do at this point from our good friend Mel Brooks.
Oh, a bullshit artist.
You mean that one? Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. Let's continue on. We've got about 30 seconds left. Let's hear Ross out to the end, but then I want to get into his vernacular at this point.
Let's be really clear about this. There is always the possibility that sources that talk to a journalist like me may be malign. They may indeed be running some kind of psyop. And of course, I've taken that into consideration in asking the question.
Then why, if it could be a psyop, why would you bring it out and say it's categorically true that that Lockheed Martin, the Tic Tacs were Lockheed Martin? You know what I mean?
Right. I know exactly what you mean. You're right.
Yeah.
And so he's contradicting himself, and you just called him out on it. One hand, it's categorically the truth, and on the other hand, it could be bullshit. So he's trying to have it both ways.
So his excellent sources that he have, I now have to call into question that tale he's been telling us about this UFO that's so large that they had to hide it by building a building over it, right?
Well, at this point, any claims that he has made so far, you have to call into question.
Absolutely.
Especially if there's no proof. Now, as far as his multiple sources, you and I have already said this on the previous show, we know his sources. He's talking about Dr. Stephen Greer.
Yeah.
As far as the Tic Tacs came from Lockheed, that's something that Greer is famous for saying and putting it out there publicly. And as far as the psionics, that's coming directly from Jake Barber and Skywatcher.
Yeah.
That he won't name.
Well, here we go. I do have a soundbite of some people looking for Ross.
Yep.
Scooby-Doos, where are you?
If they pull off Ross's mask, will Stephen Greer be under there?
It very well could be, because lately it's been sounding a lot like Stephen Greer, which is not a good sign.
Yes. Michael Sutcliffe, your hand is up. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, so my fear in all this is that someone got to Ross.
Stephen Greer. That's who got to Ross.
yeah, someone got to Ross, or he's been threatened, or he's gone nuts. So
No, he hasn't been threatened. Nope, I can tell you that, Michael.
yeah, okay.
What happened? I'll tell you what happened. He got in close with the Greer camp. He started to drink the Kool-Aid, buy into the bullshit, and believe it. He even went so far when he was covering Skywatcher and he broke the Jake Barber story with that balloon hanging on a rope. He was attending CE5 conferences with Greer, and he was talking about how this is really, really real stuff and how it's something that people tend to overlook, but he's been looking at it himself. He's been a guest. He believes this stuff. He's really drinking the Kool-Aid, going down the wrong rabbit hole with these people. And Barber is one of Greer's people. So he really is all on board with it. I think he believes it. Not that someone put a gun to his head. I know that he looked at it and was convinced that this is all true. And the other part, as far as the advanced drone technology, Thomas and I covered this. We know that he spoke with, meaning Ross, Ivan's client, the person who has knowledge of, and we had Ivan on the show talking about this recently.
Yep.
This person has an advanced drone that he had contact with over 22 years ago, and he was able to get pieces and parts off of it and videotape, and he was able to reverse engineer some of this stuff because he has a background with this, so he's familiar with what he's looking at. And he talked to Ross with Ivan about this. So Ross is taking different stories from different sources and combining everything together and making the claims that he is, because, like he says, I have multiple sources. Yeah, you do. But what you're not telling everybody is you're combining different stories from these multiple sources and putting out these claims that you're making that people are pushing back against.
Yep.
It's a fall from grace.
Yes,
to be honest
absolutely.
with you.
Yeah,
It's like
I also think, Mike, that there's a little bit of aqua velvae in that Kool-Aid.
Oh my God, Michael, there's a lot in that Kool-Aid, and I don't know why he would drink it the way that he has and buy into this shit wholeheartedly. I mean, look, Thomas and I have a theory that because Disclosure has been so slow for so long, that he's under contract with News Nation, and he has to have content. He has to, if he wants to continue getting a paycheck. So he may be picking low-hanging fruit, you know, like Greer and the claims made by Skywatcher. It's easy, and it's something he can cover and bring content to. So I have a feeling that this is exactly what's been going on.
Exactly, Mike.
It's unfortunate. It really is.
So, and Bryce disagreed with his statement at the end of his podcast. He said, you know, like, that he just doesn't buy it. That
he's making the same points. If you listen to 1 hour and 40 minutes of that podcast last night, he's making the same points that Thomas and I have been making for a week now. When Ross made these statements.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I know, including using the Kool-Aid. So they obviously listen to the show and pick up on what Thomas and I put out there, which is fine because it's the truth. And I wish that Ross would be more honest about that and straightforward, but he's obviously not. So as a result of that, we get to deal with stuff like this. It's unfortunate because it gives Disclosure a black eye.
Yeah. So where do you think this is going to be going, Mike?
Well, I think that Ross's credibility is going down the toilet as we speak. That's number one. But as far as Disclosure as a whole, it's not looking good in Washington, Congress, the White House. It's not looking good for anybody that would have information to come forward at this time. It's looking like the only thing that we're going to be seeing out there is the low-hanging fruit and stuff that people don't have to put any work in to actually come up with and put out there for everyone to buy into. It's not a good time right now for Disclosure.
Yeah.
It really isn't, Michael.
Now, if I can bring this up, Mike, on this point, it's kind of like with a pizza. What happens to a pizza when you put too many toppings on it?
Oh, it becomes a big mess.
Nobody wants to eat it.
No. Nope. And if you try to cut a slice, everything falls right on the floor.
Bingo. So let's go ahead and finish off this clip, and then I want to go ahead and get in here and go over some of the terminology that someone really pulled apart really well today. So let's hear the last 10 seconds or so, then we'll jump right into that. Here we go, folks.
Difficulty is I can't go into the detail for very obvious reasons about who these sources are and why I think so strongly that those sources are telling me the truth. And I can tell you there are a lot of people who are assuring me that I'm flat wrong. And that's fine, but let's have a discussion about this.
See, that's what it's all about, Mike. Let's have a discussion on it. Let's take something as credible as the Tic Tac, right?
So strong.
And let's take the Tic Tac and turn it into controversy. Let's make it so everyone's going to get to it. I'll get on one side. Everyone will get on the other side. We'll all talk about it. Everyone will talk to me. They'll all try to get me to come on to the other side. After going through a couple things, I'll get pulled back to the other side and realize that I was categorically wrong.
Well, there's an old saying, there's no such thing as bad press.
No.
So probably he's looking for attention and wanting to continue his deal with News Nation and have stuff to talk about.
It's what I've been calling about Ross for the longest time. When there were things to talk about, Ross covered those things to talk about. When there wasn't a lot of things to talk about, Ross talked about Ross. Then on News Nation with his reality check, then they brought in his producer or someone to start interviewing him and asking him questions from the audience to figure out where to go. Now it's completely about Ross and the people he would never, ever expose. So it's just a big circle jerk at this point, it seems. I'll call it out. Let me get to... Go ahead.
Well, Freezer Man has his hand up.
Go ahead, Freezer Man.
Thomas?
Yes.
I think what will happen as a result of Ross doing what he's doing, it's just going to give George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell that much more credibility.
Yes.
And if they're really more, if they're the most honest guys out there doing this could be a positive.
Yeah.
That's only my opinion.
Well, it gets people back excited about it, talking about the situation, but he's literally throwing his credibility and everything he said before this and all the sources that he've talked about so high and how good they are. You know what this is reminding me of? LMH, Linda Moulton Howe.
Yes.
Just think about that for a second.
No,
Nothing against Linda.
it.
She's 80 years old, over 80 years old. She was in journalism when it was different than it is today, but something just doesn't smell right here.
No, it does not. So it shows you not a lot has changed in over 45 years.
No, it hasn't.
We're getting, I know.
The disclosure movement is slowly, it's rapidly declining and being transformed into the new disclosology, the new ufology that's out there. All the different schmuck stories that are out there, all the different stuff of the aliens showing up in someone's backyard or in a shopping mall, and just all these different things, all these, the boogosphere bullshit that's out there right now. And then you got some of the mummies, clearly fake. Some of them are real, but there's just a lot of, all the fake UFO videos on top of it. There's just a lot of bullshit that's coming in, and the, if you want to call it, the intention of disclosure. I went and I rewatched the hearing back from 2021, the first UFO hearing we had. That was probably some of the best days we've had in ufology. Not ufology, disclosure. God, Jesus Christ. And disclosure. That was some of the times when the momentum was going. It looked like the government was going to play along with us, and then they pulled Lucy in the football. Pulled it away just as we're about to kick it. So before we get too much off track, I want to go off of some of the terminology that Fin365 brought up that Ross Coulthart has been using. If in a few days categorically true can turn into reasonably sure, then I'm reasonably sure that categorically was never actual categorical. Categorically true means absolutely true, without exceptions, implication. It's definite, undeniable, and often backed by an objective fact or logic. An example, all squares have four sides is categorically true. It's a definition-based fact. Think, black and white, no wiggle room, no doubt. This is exactly what Ross Coulthart said last week about the Tic Tac being a Lockheed Martin product, right?
Those were his exact words, yes.
Right. Now, let's get on to reasonably sure, which he used today. It's up a little. Oh, it's a picture. Okay, fine. Let me go back to where I was a second ago. Close this down. I'll just do it from here. Reasonably sure means the person believes something is true based on available evidence or experience, but there's still a small chance they could be wrong. Implication, it's likely or probable, but not 100% certain. For example, I'm reasonably sure it won't rain today. They've seen the forecast, but the weather could still change. Think, strong likelihood, but not absolute. So either way, Ross has put himself in a interesting situation, and I still don't understand why he's going down this route.
No, I don't either. And his credibility is absolutely taking a hit as a result of this. I mean, listen, we called out Skywatcher when Jake Barber had made all of those outlandish claims they could bring a UFO down by psychically controlling it and have it land right at their feet and videotape it for the world.
Yep.
Well, Ross was doubling down on that as well. And when he came out with it, you and I was sitting here going, well, that's fine. Let him do it. We want to see the proof. The proof never came because Ross believed the bullshit that was being fed to him, never backed any of it up, never confirmed any of it or verified it, but put it out there publicly. And he's been on that path the whole time. And it's unfortunate because, look, I'll play devil's advocate here. I can tell you that when Ross put out the Grush interview that he did 2 years ago, that was good work. It was credible. What he's putting out now is not in the same category. And I don't know why he's not as concerned about his reputation or credibility as we are right now. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me, or anybody else for that matter, or even people like Bryce Zabel, who works with him. They don't get it either. Or Richard
but
Dolan.
I'm going to call out and say Bryce knew what he was going to say, and it was planned.
I don't know. When you played that clip, did you hear Bryce's reaction when he heard it?
Oh, he pulled back a little bit and came back in. I've never seen Bryce do that before. I'm just saying it could be, what do you want to call it? Ross called it, this could be a psyop from his sources. It could be a psyop from Ross. We don't know. At this point, anything with Ross is pulled into question.
Right. And Ross is rapidly putting himself into the category with Jake Barber, Dr. Stephen Greer, all of the people that you wouldn't trust.
Yeah.
And that's a shame because, he did do some credible work. His book, In Plain Sight, that I read when it came out, and the conversations I've had with him about it afterwards, he did legitimate work based on his experience as a investigative journalist. What the hell has been going on since then? I don't know. I don't get it. His credibility is in question now. The content that everything comes out of his mouth is in question by people close to him and the public. They're all really upset with him putting all this bullshit out there, and that's what it is. We're talking about bullshit, and I can't explain it.
That's exactly what Anonymous Rex put on our screen. Bullshit. Yeah,
no, it is. He's right. But I don't know why he would.
A bullshit artist.
Exactly. I don't know why he would just flush his reputation down the toilet like this. It
I
doesn't
have,
make sense.
I have no idea, my friend. It does not make sense. All right, Verndu brings up a good point. Let me go ahead and Verndu just said, where is it at? Why is it not showing up here? Oh, actually, Verndu has given us 3 super chats already. Holy shit, Verndu. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let me make sure we're not on auto. Okay, so why isn't it here, though? It should be here. He just said, Verndu, like, subscribe. Is it time for a poll? Yes, it would be a time for a poll. As I'm setting up the poll, Michael Sokoloff, your hand is up.
Yeah, at that moment, Bryce did state that he was taken by surprise. He had no idea this was coming out because they hadn't discussed what they're going to do during the show on that particular podcast, as they usually do, but this time they didn't. So he was taken by surprise on that.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what he said, but the truth of the matter is we really don't know, do we, Michael?
Well, I believe Bryce.
Okay, cool. I'll leave it as a question mark because anything that's been coming along with Ross lately is just so thrown into question. You don't know what's going on in the aura around him, potentially. Ashes, go ahead.
I mean, the way that they're talking, he does not sound right now like a legit investigative reporter at all. He's not really bringing forth facts. He's just saying, oh, yeah, this is this, and I cannot reveal my sources. And it's like, at this point, anybody could be a source. It could be somebody walking up to him off the street. But other than that, we do know that it's Greer because he's brought up Greer in the past. And what's kind of funny about that is the way that they talk about just like, oh yes, we can bring in these UFOs and stuff. It could be something like, if they're making money off of this kind of stuff, it could be something as simple as me being like, oh, I have a magic paintbrush and I can paint a rainbow in the sky, so you should believe me.
Yeah. Well, interesting points. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate that. And I do have a poll coming up, everybody. Let me go ahead and bring this one up here. Hey, Google, set a timer for 1 minute and 30 seconds, please.
Okay, 1 minute and 30 seconds. Starting now.
All right, let's go ahead and get that sound effect up and going. And that way, you know, we've got a poll going, and that we do rapid fire polls here at Disclosure tonight. So you've got 1 minute and 18 seconds to get out there and vote, my friends. The poll is, as a viewer, I stand with Ross on the Tic Tac. So far, 22% of our audience is saying yes. An overwhelming 79% of our audience is saying no. You've got a minute left, folks. Get in there and vote. We've got 69 votes, and let's see if we can get this number up to 100. Remember, also take this time. If you haven't given us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, we'll take one or the other in our ratings below. It's right in your YouTube interface. We'd appreciate the thumbs up because the more interaction we get, the more that YouTube is going to share this stream with more people. Thank you for your attention to this detail. We got 37 seconds left. I will just ask you a question here, Manuel, before you get to it. After this poll's over, I'll get to your question. Manuel, how did you vote on this? Or how would you vote? Do you stand with Ross on the Tic Tac? Yes or no?
No.
No, neither do I. Let's see.
Since I can't see to join the poll, I'll do it in audio mode.
Awesome. Thank you very much, sir. We've got just 10 seconds left, folks. Love to get your votes in last second. We've got 90 votes in. Let's see if we can get close to that mark of 100. We probably won't hit it. I could extend it, but I am going to stick to my guns. And the minute timer is up, which means we're at 92 votes right now. Let me take a screenshot of this for posterity and end the poll. Yeah, most shows out there go ahead and have a poll and they shut it down and they let it run the entire show? I think so.
Yeah.
But here we go. 76% of our audience said no. I don't stand with Ross. And I'd say our number here, Mike, is actually higher than the amount of support I've seen him get on Twitter.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. People are not buying it.
Yeah.
David Fravor spoke out. Chad Underwood came out. Kevin Day came out and pushed back against it. People are not buying it for good reason.
Yeah. Now, some podcasts were in the middle. They weren't going to go one way or the other. But this is one of those things I have to stakely put my foot in the sand or put my feet in the ground, whatever it is, and say, this is where we stand on it.
Yeah. I
All
agree.
right.
I'm with you.
Before we move on to our next topic of the night, Manuel, you have your hand up, my friend.
Manuel?
Manuel? I know you're there. You're mute. No, he's not muted, is he? I can't tell.
Yeah, he is.
You need to unmute yourself, my friend. Oh. Maybe he was
There we
trying
go.
to.
He unmuted. Oh, no, we put his hand down.
Okay, that's fine.
All right,
We'll
moving
deal
on.
with that later, my friends. Oh, it's probably because he couldn't vote, so we took care of it on that one. Go ahead and shut that down, and let me go ahead and put the chat back where it goes. Needs to go so I can go ahead and see it. Now, our next topic we're bringing up, Mike. Canada has unveiled an official UAP report. How about that? You know, what was the old saying again that I used to have here? Here we go. Yes, when you can't blame anybody, blame Canada. And they'll say, I'm sorry. Let's get into this. So what were the key findings and status quo of the public reporting? Well, let me go ahead and see if I can bring this up properly, get across to here, bring it in so we can all go through it, maybe make it a little bit larger for our friends at home to go ahead and see it. We'll go over our summary of this report. It's a pretty good one, I have to say. Let's get into it. All right. Status quo and public reporting. So on a yearly basis, Canadians report approximately 600 to 1,000 UAPs in a year. A survey of about 1,000 Canadians found that about 27% have seen something they couldn't explain at least once. Just 9%. Let me shut off that chat message there. There we go. Let's get to it. Okay. Just 9 to 10% notified authorities. 40% didn't know whom to contact. Now, most support both dedicated federal reporting service and public transparency, meaning they like to be able to report it to a federal agency and get transparency that comes out of it. Next, we're looking at structural and organizational gaps. What are we talking about here? Let me get back to here and just move this a little bit over. There we go. Fragmented reporting. There's no standard process. Multiple agencies receive reports in different formats. Mike, this sounds like how the United States used to be.
This is exactly how the United States was back in 2021, I believe.
Before 2021, absolutely. Low post-report engagement. Only incidents with potential safety or security implications are ever investigated. So someone seeing a UFO hovering over their barn, or things going on, or potentially are abducted, doesn't sound like they get investigated, Mike.
No, nothing does. It seems like they don't have any mechanism in place for people to report anything.
Now, public platforms are lacking. There's no official app or website for citizens to submit photos, videos, or descriptions to. There's limited scientific analysis and citizen engagement, resulting in rumors and misinformation spreading unchecked. Sounds like ARO is what they're going for. Now, international comparisons. The U.S. has ARO, which is the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office that we all have loved to hate. Since 2002, NASA's UAP Research Director, since 2023, provided structural data collecting and public reporting. However, this is wrong because I believe it was in 2024 the position was vacated and their research center for UAP was shut down. Correct, Mike?
Well, not only is that correct, but you and I also covered this on the show when ARO was stood up. They had a website, but it was not functioning, if you remember. It didn't work. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, they had it up, but you couldn't report anything.
Nope.
Typical of ARO. Right.
Yeah. But that's ARO. I'm talking about NASA right now. That NASA had their UAP panel, and then they had a research director who was put in place. Although they were put in place in 2023, I believe it was in 2024, the position was vacated, and their UAP research center that they had underneath that director was shut down.
It was.
After all, NASA would never see anything about UFOs interacting with their spacecraft, would they? No, never.
Oh, you bet your boots. Bill Nelson wouldn't believe in that. He was the one that said David Grush didn't know what he was talking about. Yeah, we remember. We covered that as well.
Mr. Amway salesman. If you've ever seen an Amway salesman or had to deal with one one-on-one, Bill Nelson, 100%. Final answer. So France has SNES and Gaipan has had a dedicated unit since 1977, publishing reports openly. They've been researching the UFO topic going all the way back, and Mike, they have never stopped. That'd be the best example to go after.
Yeah, we should have taken it. Yeah, we should have taken their model.
Yeah,
which we did.
Now, go ahead.
No, I was just saying you're right. We should have gone with the France model. Now
in Chile, CIFA, under its Civilian Aviation Authority, analyzes and reports UAPs officially. But there's not a lot of work coming out of Chile in this point. So what are the recommendations coming out of this groundbreaking report from Canada? Well, first of all, we need to have... It's off the bottom of the screen. Come on. Here we go. Appoint a federal lead, such as the Canadian Space Agency, to centralize UAP reporting. Create a dedicated service to collect reports, investigate, publish analysis, and follow up. Next, data and reporting tools. If they standardize the reporting process across agencies and expand Transport Canada to encourage pilots and controllers to report UAPs. Because remember, for the longest time, Mike, if a pilot were to go ahead and report UAP in the United States, they'd risk losing their job.
Yeah, mental stability would be called into question.
Yeah. Quick thing here.
Didn't come forward. Yeah.
Brains says they make good TV shows and movies in Canada. You know why, Mike?
Why, Thomas?
The government subsidizes television and movie production, and also, believe it or not, video game production. So there's a reason why there's a lot of shows, like the X-Files was filmed in Canada. There's a lot of shows that are filmed up in Canada. There's a lot of movies that are in Canada. There's a lot of video games that are actually Ubisoft, based out of Canada for reasons. It's government subsidized.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Next
so
is
a lot cheaper.
Develop public platforms like bilingual apps and websites for citizen submissions. Absolutely. Next, communication strategy. Proactive public communication. Mike, can you hear that dog?
Yeah.
All right, let me close the damn window. Hold on. Shut up! It worked. Thank you.
It did. Yeah.
Now, young man, give me that knife. Only worked for a second. Son of a bitch. I thought I was going to shut him up. Anyway, proactive public communication coming from regular briefings, media engagement, and debunking of common misinterpretations. Like saying the Tic Tacs were from Lockheed Martin. Internal government coordination to ensure ministries share UAP data and follow through on citizen reports. What, they're not going to let the military get in the way and cover everything and cover it all up? I thought they already were doing that. Yeah. What else do they want? They want to have research and transparency. Open data, make UAP reports publicly available. Periodic public surveys to monitor attitudes and trust. Next, citizen science programs and toolkits, especially for youth engagement. Wow, that means they're going to have a UFO investigator toolkit, Mike, where you can get a logbook, a collection gear and everything, maybe an official hat.
Decoder ring.
Maybe a patch, too, and the decoder ring. Right. To go ahead and translate those alien writings that they find. We're just having some fun here, folks. Got to have fun with this. Leverage Canada's aerospace and astronomical strengths involving universities and research institutions. And, of course, international collaboration. partner globally with ARO, NASA, Gaipan, and SAFA to share data and best practices. But isn't Japan setting up something now too, I think?
Yeah.
I believe they are.
They are, but they haven't put it up yet.
So, UFO coloring book. Good idea, Evan B. Just like they have for educating children about Donald Trump and the great things he's done to this country. It's true. Yeah. It's true. It's out there. Final takeaway. Canada currently lacks a coherent, a transparent UAP reporting system. The fragmented approach risks fostering misinformation, reducing public trust, and missing scientific opportunities. The report advises establishing a central agency via the Canadian Space Agency or Transport Canada, which is equivalent to the FAA, deploying user-friendly reporting tools, expanding scientific engagement, and actively communicating with the public. This would align Canada with leading international practices, strengthen both safety and public confidence. And in my view of this, Mike, it would actually take and put Canada's, how they're approaching the UAP phenomenon better than what's going on with the United States at this point.
Potentially, but as it stands with what you're reading right now, they are at least several years behind the United States with having any of that up and running. And if they do, we don't know if it would go the same direction that ARO did. And plus, add into that, if they actually did have anything credible and concrete, the United States would shut it down. Yeah, so Canada wouldn't be successful with that.
Michael, perfect. I was just about to call on our friends from Canada. We have 2 or 3 friends in the back from Canada. Michael, what are your thoughts on this?
So there is a MUFON presence in Canada if you can get a hold of them. If you can get them to come out to your site or, even to talk to them. Because they have done a lot of research on crop circles in Canada, especially in the prairie provinces where there's lots of flat land, like parts of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba.
Yeah.
So there is a presence. I found another site that wasn't very well maintained, but you could read some of the sightings that have happened in Canada, and it gives you a couple of stats. But I don't think it's well maintained, and there's no contact information. So, what you were just reading is fairly accurate, but there are a few other little organizations that are unheard of.
Yeah. Now, there is another organization out there called TESA. Stay away from it, folks. Just trust me on that one.
What's TESA?
Oh, I forget. The Experiencer, TESA.C. Is that it? I'll see if I can find it.
Okay, well, we can talk about that later. And Transport Canada, of course, is the official government organization that accepts UFO reports.
Okay, cool.
Not that they do anything with the data they collect, but yeah.
Gotcha. I believe it's called the Experiencer Support Association. So, yeah, stay away from that, folks. I've had some insight on that one, just saying. Smile harder. Any thoughts from Freezer Man or Manuel about this coming out of Canada?
Thomas?
Yes?
If anything is true about the Canadian government, they couldn't screw in a light bulb even if they had instructions. So I don't have much confidence that they're going to really do anything. And Mike has a very good point. If there was anything really serious, CSIS, which is our intelligence agency, they would squash it on the behest of CIA or whoever else. So as far as transparency up here, I think it's a joke.
Okay. So it sounds like what you're saying is what we're hearing here is a bunch of talk, not a lot of things that will actually come into action. Oh,
totally. We right now have a $400 billion deficit. This is just a distraction.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
That's only my opinion, Thomas.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. So while there are some facilities up there, organizations like MUFON and et cetera to go ahead and report stuff to, the government needs to get something done. But the chance of the government actually following through on this report is as much of a great chance as we actually have the United States government opening up true transparency on UFOs.
Yeah, I would agree.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Mike. It sounds like an interesting situation. Oh, we got another super chat coming in from Kane Northrop. Our one supporter tonight has given us like 5 super chats already. Thank you, Kane. Every dollar that comes in Disclosure tonight goes back into our production fund, and we're really humbled and thankful that you're an active supporter of the show tonight. Thank you, Kane. Appreciate that.
Oh, and Vern Dude has been sending in a lot.
Oh, that's right. It was Vern Dude. It wasn't Kane. So yeah, we've had 3 from Vern and now 1 from Kane.
Perfect.
Until I haven't had Adderall today. Back on 30 tomorrow. Now in other news, I'm going to cover it. I could probably get in trouble, but I will bring it up anyway. An interesting piece of information for someone who used to show up on the show every so often. Let's bring this up. Mike, did you hear the news that Rick Doty has shut down his Twitter account? It's completely gone at this point.
Yes, you and I are aware that it shut down today.
Yeah. So things happening behind us. Oh, keep on clicking the wrong one. Things going on behind the scenes. Interesting stuff happening. Now, why did I just lose my bookmarks here? Let's just go. I've got a bunch of different minimal stories to go ahead and pick up. Well, in science news today, we have there's been a breakthrough on Mars. Water ice has been confirmed. Let me go ahead and bring this one up. Here we go. Breakthrough on Mars. We got another super chat, did we? I think we got another super chat here really quick. Let me bring this up. Who do we get? Cognisa, £2. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Cognisa. Let's go ahead and continue on. Breakthrough. There is on Mars, water ice confirmed. This stunning image from the European Space Agency's Mars Express reveals the Korolev crater, a massive 82 kilometers wide basin filled with year-round ice. Thanks to a natural cold trap, the crater's 2-kilometer deep floor keeps cold air locked in, preserving a central mound of ice up to 1.8 kilometers thick. As a result, a Martian snowfield that never melts. In the image below, captured with the high-resolution stereo camera HRSC, this marks 15 years of Mars Express orbiting the red planet since December 5th. 2003. Named after the space pioneer Sergei Korolev, this site is a major target for life-hunting missions like the ESA's ExoMars, which continues exploring Mars's frozen secrets. Thank you very much, Brian Pemble, for that super chat. Appreciate that a little bit more for the kitty. And Daryl threw in $2. Thank you, guys. We really appreciate that love and support of everything we do here. But this one, Mike, I thought just caught my eye. I know everyone's saying, why in the hell is Elon Musk trying to get to Mars? Well, apparently, if there's ice and there's water, that means there could still be life. Microbial, for that matter.
That means we don't have to worry about taking water up there with us, which is very heavy.
Right.
This is a very interesting revelation, I think, of
right.
the planet.
What they'd have to do is create some kind of autonomous platform to go out there, harvest it, and then bring it back one chunk at a time.
No, Elon could send his new robots that are coming out of Tesla.
That's what I'm talking about.
AI installed.
Exactly.
Send them up there and they start building facilities, which he's probably going to do.
Yeah, probably, my friend. I would hope so. What else do I have going on here? There's a bunch of interesting things going on. All right, our next one. All right. This one's from Billy Carson. We'll call it out up front. But this is an interesting piece. It talks about life being brought to our planet, right?
Right.
By comets and asteroids. It's a common topic, right?
It is.
And they've been finding the recipe for life present on those objects. Now, what are we talking about here? Let's get to it. Here we go. As above, so below. So in the universe, as above is all those comets and meteorites coming in and fertilizing our planet with life. But also we get that in the womb, don't we?
We do.
Yeah. So
that's interesting.
A very interesting thing, to say the least. Just one of those things that, well, keep on clicking on the wrong one. Here we go. What do we have for our next post to get into here? Now, every so often I run into interesting UFO videos, and there's a lot of them out there that are a lot of bullshit that we just don't cover here for obvious reasons. There's just too many of them. But this one's from a Ring camera. I think it's from a Ring camera. Or no, I'm sorry, it's from a Wise camera. Let me go ahead and bring this one up here really quick. This one looks really cool. So this UFO caught on surveillance camera in Kentucky, posted on Enigma app in Calvert City, Kentucky. The location was near a chemical company plant, according to the original poster. And look at this. You've got something coming in. That doesn't look like a plane, right?
Uh-huh.
And let me go ahead and just download this, copy this video address. Give me a second here so we can bring this up a bit more. I love these kind of videos. Sometimes you can find the good ones that's worth bringing it forward. Where in the hell? There it is. Download it. External application. Here we go. Let's bring this video up full screen so we can go ahead and see it. That's what I want to go ahead and take a look at. There we go. And what I want to do is let's zoom this in. Let's go ahead and take a look at this frame by frame. Why is it not playing? So there it is. Oh, now I got it. So it starts there. Let's take it frame by frame coming in. That looks like 3 distinct lighting surfaces. This one here, right? This one over here. And this next one over here. That's not a plane.
It almost looks like the Batwing.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell that thing is.
I can say I've never seen anything like this before, but it's highly interesting.
It is interesting. And
I would put this in the categorical box of something that's not an anomaly, something that doesn't look like it would be a standard human craft for that matter.
It doesn't look prosaic.
No.
I agree.
Right.
But
you can almost see it at this point here. You've got this thing over here, this one over here, and then some kind of a central body or something to go to that extent. That's what we're kind of seeing as it goes up and off. Yeah, because you can see there's one here, another one here, and another one here, and there's some kind of structure that's connecting everything.
We don't know how authentic this actual video is, but it is interesting if it's authentic.
True.
I agree.
Yeah. I just want to bring it out there, throw it out there. We can't say it's definitively, it's something that's true. It's a real UFO, but it's something that piques my interest more than a lot of the fake UFO videos you see on a regular basis.
That are obviously fake.
Play that clip again and we'll watch the tree, see how it moves.
Yeah, go ahead. That's a good idea.
Hold on. I'll zoom out all the way so everyone can go ahead and see it. Why is it not zooming out? Let me just put this on loop for a second. Here we go. Oh, okay, they've got it zoomed up in the second part of the video. There's not much movement going on in the trees at all.
None, actually.
So they're either stationary for some reason, and
there's no real if you're looking for wind or something coming off of this, you get a little bit of movement, but it could be compression as it moves along. I'll see a little bit of movement in the rustling of the leaves, but nothing on the edges too much. It looks like it's more of a compression artifact than anything. Just like in here, this part of the video, there's a bunch of blurry things going on that as it moves along. And when was this recorded? This was recorded on May 18th, 2023. So it's a good couple of years old, but still, I've never seen this one before.
And how long does it say the video is?
Oh, it's real time. It's from 54 seconds to 55 seconds. So it's about a second worth of flight. So it's going at a good clip. Cool. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's see what else I've got going on in here. Let me get back to the guest again. Let's see what else we have in here, Mike. Okay, we've got the categorically true stuff. We've got Transport Canada. We've got old stuff, videos going on. Canada. All right. This happened earlier this morning. The Sun actually went out and released a 160,000 mile long plasma filament off the southwest limb of the Sun. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this. It's freaking huge. There is the Earth for scale. Luckily, they haven't announced whether or not this is actually heading towards a planet at this point in time. But there's a close-up of it. Holy cow, that is huge. Now, this is the kind of coronal mass ejection that mixes up things on the planet just a bit. You know what I mean, Mike?
Oh, I do. Thank God for the magnetosphere that we have to protect us.
Yeah.
And if that weakened or wasn't functioning, we would have a big problem.
Oh, gosh, yes. Now, if you haven't waited for it long enough, well, it's happening. Scientists are now arguing. It cannot be denied that new interstellar object that they see going through our solar system is an alien ship. Trajectory of the third discovered interstellar object is being shown, but it's not like we're seeing it doing any maneuvers or anything great. But I guess, Mike, are they going to start calling out everything interstellar as being a UFO?
Oh, I certainly hope not, to be honest with you. But it looks like there's a lot of that coming up lately. You're right.
Yeah, there is. Can't wait to hear how Ross reports on this.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah. In other news, coming from the Liberation Times, this is an interesting one that we can talk about the stuff we've been talking about for the longest time, Mike. Give you a good diatribe. What am I talking about? Let's bring this up here. All right. New UFO whistleblowers aim the spotlight at the White House secrecy machine, claiming that we're dealing with White House specific, unacknowledged special access programs that are run out of the executive branch. Not necessarily just the White House, because don't they say, Mike, that some presidents aren't actually cued in on this, which would mean it goes on the executive branch and they only bring in the president for what they need him to know, or her.
Right. Plus, what David Grush had talked about is that they take these legacy UAP programs and they bury and nest them within prosaic standard defense SAP programs so that you won't be able to locate or find it without a direct need to know access or authorization.
Correct,
so they
sir.
hide it in plain sight. And they've been doing that for the longest time.
Right.
So, yeah, we're not going to have presidents that are going to be specifically read in on a lot of the legacy or prosaic programs. Because if you have, let's say, a one-term president like the previous one, and someone who is not focusing on a lot of things too well, they're not going to have the full expanse of the work that the government does and be and notified of it. So That's how this has been going on for so long, and not everybody is aware of it. So, yeah, good point, Thomas.
Yeah,
right.
And it's something, Mike, that we've been bringing up for a while here. I mean, when it comes down to the cover-up, we've heard so many times from Susan Goff that the DOD has no knowledge of this information. And honestly, in some of these situations, if the details are truly hidden away in the executive branch, she's telling the truth.
Well, Matthew Brown, who was the author of the Immaculate Constellation report that was submitted before Congress at the UAP hearing, he came forward and said that the DOD didn't have that Immaculate Constellation SAP program. It was coming from the executive branch, the White House. He referred to it as a presidential unacknowledged special access program.
Right.
So when reporters had reached out to Susan Goff, the representative for the Department of Defense, she said, no, we have no knowledge of it. And she was telling the truth.
Yeah.
Everyone thought she was lying, but she wasn't. It had nothing to do with DOD. That was a program that was operated directly from the White House.
Now, there is another name for
USF.
this, Mike, that's come out recently. This may go along with it coming to us again from the Disclosure Party over on X. Individuals with direct knowledge of classified UFO programs are conducted under WUSAP, and I believe that may be a waived, unacknowledged special access program status, may testify in a public hearing provided they do not disclose classified operational details, sources, or methods. While classification restricts the release of sensitive information, Congress retains constitutional oversight authority under Article 1. Now, from what we understand, Mike, the only people in Congress that are briefed, it's not the Gang of 8, is it? It's the Gang of 4. And the Gang of 4 is the majority leader in the House, the minority leader in the House, the majority leader in the Senate, the minority leader in the Senate, and that's it. So it's a very smaller group of individuals. And this could explain for some of the reasons if Mike Johnson, who is the head of the House of Representatives, it could be one of the reasons why he didn't want to give the UAP caucus a select committee for doing research.
And the task force run by Representative Anna Paulina Luna is in the House Oversight Committee, and the chairman of that, James Comer, refused to authorize them to be read in, and the DOD was going to temporarily read those members in on SAP programs, and James Comer said, no, they don't have a need to know.
No,
so they don't have subpoena power, and they don't have even backing from their own committee.
Right. Absolutely. So getting to the details of this, these witnesses may lawfully confirm the existence of classified UFO programs and raise concerns about oversight failures if their testimony is carefully structured to avoid disclosing specific protected information. Oh, like information that could actually give us facts and evidence, of course. Now, Executive 13.526 prohibits using classification to conceal unlawful activity, and federal whistleblower statutes permit the reporting of government misconduct to Congress through proper authorized channels, as long as national security is not compromised, which they would say any word about any of this information getting forward, Mike, would compromise national security, and they would never let it pass. Watch.
Oh, hell no. If someone was to verify that we're in possession of a craft and biologic bodies, no way in hell that would absolutely violate national security as far as they're concerned.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they need increased whistleblower protections that would protect them if they did come forward, but that doesn't currently exist.
No, unfortunately it does, my friend. It does not.
Right.
All right, let's see what else we can dig up here on the show. I'm going to have to cut this a little bit short. The dogs have not eaten yet. Not sure why, but I'm going to have to go ahead and cut the show a little bit early so I can go ahead and feed the puppies before I go to bed at 8. Well, I don't go to bed at 8, but I start getting ready to go to bed at 8 because, 5 o'clock in the morning comes way early, and taking a couple hours just takes me to turn down and just relax at the end of the night. You know what I mean?
I do. Yes, sir.
All right, we got Ross, hearings, Antifa. Oh, wow. So, Skinny Bob has been all the talk lately in some circles, and a lot of people are bringing it back into the cycle because, they're being told it's 100% real alien. So we've got pro pixel video analysis over on X. Let me bring this up. Here we go. He put the original clips through his diffusion process, not an AI upscale, to get the maximum detail. Remember, Mike, when you do an AI upscale, your system is creating pixels that do not exist, right?
Right. Correct.
Yeah. So let's get to the original one here. Let's see if I can get to this, and let's go ahead and just play this without the audio. It looks a lot cleaner than what we've seen in the past. People say this is probably one of the best videos we've seen out there of a non-human intelligence, and I'd say it's near the top of the list.
Well, I would need to see further proof and verification that that is in fact an actual video of a non-human intelligence.
Oh yeah.
So
I got you.
Until there's more, I'm not accepting that as reality.
I got you. It's something that's out there, and supposedly, I believe this is a video that was put together by the old KGB, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it was.
We'll see where it all goes, but I vote for Skinny Bob. There we go.
I reserve my vote until further evidence presents itself.
Cool. I don't want to believe this is good evidence for me. And I would say it's more likely than not. It could be fake, but you never know. Hey, even the people who, never mind, I won't bring that up, but yeah, even people who brought up, who made fake videos of planes getting taken down by orbs, they've even come forward.
Well, but there's a lot of mental issues that are associated with that individual that have also been coming out a lot lately.
Oh, a lot lately.
We're not
yeah.
Gonna go there.
Oh, we're not going to go there, my friend. Absolutely. Let's get back to the interview guest and see if I have anything else left here in my documents. Yeah, Department of Energy. We'll just call it out. We were talking before about the White House hiding the programs for whatever's going on. The only place that would be doing any research on the propulsion technology would never be at a defense contractor. It would be hidden deep in the bowels of the Department of Energy, period. It's the program that made the nuclear bomb, and they turned that program into the UFO research program back in the day after they were going to shut it down.
Right. And there is, under the National Laboratory System, they do not have FOIA ability. You can't FOIA anything out of it.
Yeah.
And after Kirkpatrick left and retired from Arrow, he went right to Oak Ridge National Laboratories. What does that tell you? That's the place where a lot of this is going on.
Oh, yeah. So, Mike, what would you do in this situation?
As far as what?
Well, you can't see the video.
Disclosure?
No.
Oh, my God. Oh, the tidal wave. Yeah,
the tidal waves, yeah.
Well, at that point, you promptly put your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye.
Yeah.
What else
you
can
watch
you do?
the wave. It's about all you can do. No matter where you want to go, it's not going to do anything for you. Yeah, I've seen this many times in meditation since I've been a small kid. For me, it's like, oh, yeah. When? Kind of soon, maybe.
Well, I hope not.
Oh, I hope not as well, my friend.
What it would have looked like with the major flood catastrophes that we've been through on this planet countless times.
Oh, gosh, yes, absolutely, my friend. Well, going through the list of all the different stuff we had on our agenda today, Mike, I think we've about covered anything. Is there anything on your list that we haven't covered yet?
No, I think you and I have covered everything on the show tonight that we wanted to cover and had a really good conversation about it.
Yeah, absolutely. On that note, my friends, how about that? A little early today, but the dogs need to eat, and I get it. I want to thank everybody for coming out to this. Oh, that's really loud. No, not too loud. The bass is there. There we go. I want to thank everybody for coming out to this episode of Disclosure tonight. We've had a great evening tonight. Happy Monday again, July 14th. We still have 6.5 months left to go before the end of the year. Maybe we'll get a hearing. Maybe we won't. We'll see what happens. Don't hold your breath, folks. It's like what I always tell people. They'll tell us something, but rarely does it ever follow through into the way it's supposed to be. Do you think we're going to go ahead, Mike, and potentially get true whistleblowers coming forward who had their hands on the craft, whether doing recovery or scientific research?
That are going to come out and testify at the public congressional hearing?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
That's my vote. I would say probably not.
Yeah, absolutely. On that note, I want to go ahead and thank everybody. Yeah, I would agree with you much, Mike. I agree with you completely. Just hold your breath. Don't set your hopes too high. Just hope disclosure moves forward and we don't keep on sliding back. Not a good one.
No.
All right, on that note, I want to thank our friends for giving us some super chats tonight, including Joshua 420, Vern Dude, Daryl, Brian Pemble, Cognicia, Kane Northrup, Vern Dude again, and Vern Dude again, and of course, Vern Dude again. Again, thank you very much for coming out tonight. Mike, thank you for being here. Audience, appreciated. Back panel, thank you for all your great questions.
Oh, my pleasure, and thank you for putting all this together and doing such a great job tonight, Thomas.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I greatly appreciate it. And Mike, as we usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure tonight, eyes open, no fear, be safe, everybody, but...
Go back to Party City where you belong.
Absolutely. We'll catch you in the flip side. Good night, everybody. Y'all come back now. Here, take care. Bye-bye.